Samu, who's probably one of the more inexperienced Wallaby squads we've seen this week. How have you seen those young boys really add energy and kind of lift after last week's result?
Yeah, I think the boys have responded really well after the selection, and I think throughout the whole week the pack and as a backline have really fronted. It hasn't been the greatest conditions at training, but the boys have adapted well to those things at training. It's been awesome.
Does your role change in the backline with such an inexperienced kind of team? I think only Marika has more test caps than you in this starting with 15.
I guess it's just the same guidance that I've been trying to help with throughout the game. Those boys have been playing together. Like I wouldn't want to call it too inexperienced, but they played a lot of games together, different combinations across the park. And it's just another for us is a big test here in New Zealand. So just focusing on what we can control and the really good things that we've done in the first game. That first 20-minute block we've spoken about already as a team, and how important that was and how we need to lengthen that out to a whole 80-minute performance. So that's been the main focus for us.
It's just building on that. What came out of the review that has been the key focus of training, just to kind of make sure that you build from 30 minutes to trying to get that 80-minute performance, and trying not to switch off at certain times.
Yeah, just staying and understanding each big moment that comes within the game. I think there's some moments there that we didn't recognise. Where we really had to front up, and the ABs put a lot of pressure on us, especially before that half time, where we're going into the half good scoreline, but that last try just kind of cemented their momentum in that first half. So we just need to focus on those things, and for us, like you said, just that 20 to 30 minutes, from the review, we thought it was really good. Trusting our game plan that we had around that, and hammer that down this week.
I guess the All Black squad's vastly different from what they put out last week. Could that always make them more dangerous, with a lot of guys really trying to push their World Cup claims before they name the squad next week? Guys like your Sean Stevensons, Finals, these type of guys.
Yeah, 100%. I think guys like Sean Stevenson and Damien, who had that combination at the Chiefs, they played outstanding throughout the whole Super Rugby. So. I think they got great depth there, and they played some great footy. So for them to get their opportunity, here in New Zealand, it's a big lift for them. So it's another challenge for us. But I think, personally, any All Black side you face, it's going to be a great team.
Hey, Samu, tell me, it's not often that you get to play back-to-back tests against a One Nation. Like obviously in a Bledisloe you do, but rarely elsewhere. Do you change much with the tactics? Like there's a very similar, same backline, slightly different forward pack, but do the tactical stuff, do you overhaul that throughout the week, or is it more of the same?
Yeah, like I said before, we want to focus on those what we did really well in those first 20 minutes, first 30 minutes, and even in the second half, coming out the blocks. There's certain things there that we've been working on the last couple of weeks, and we just want to hammer that down and stick to that, just like the foundations of our game. And I guess tactically, it's not much that you change unless personnel. You look at try to find as many weaknesses they have, and try to head in that direction. But like a class All Black side like that, it's hard to find weaknesses. But we believe we find some things that we can hammer down, and we're focusing on that this week. But it'll be a similar game plan, but we'll have one trick or two up our sleeve, just holding on to that.
Yeah, and you guys obviously with the same backline, do you feel more confident going into it, knowing that there is that opportunity to build the combinations and a bit more cohesion now 3 to 4 matches into the season?
Yeah, absolutely right. I think the longer you play with someone, the longer the combination is. But even at training, understanding what guys want and what your teammates need from yourself and from each other, it goes a long way to that cohesion that you're talking about. We're demanding a lot from each other more at training. Obviously we haven't got the results that we want, but doesn't mean that at training that's where we have to demand more, because the test match is one part of the week. The 6 other days is as important or even more heading into those. So we're demanding a lot from each other on and off the field. Things like recovery is really important, and getting around each other. So we're just sticking tight, and we're moving forward from there.
And I don't know if you remember, but it was early 2019. You and Geordie teamed up together in the centres at Dunedin, and it kind of, that match, I think you got injured throughout it, or a game or two later, but that kind of match was the first time you guys teamed up in the centres together. Do you feel like it's all full circle, and how much from a partnership from you two, how much further along the line do you think you are now, having started that kind of partnership back against the Highlanders in 2019?
Yeah, it's quite funny you mentioned that. We kind of spoke about it ourselves because we're roomies this week as well. So it has kind of come full circle. I remember him as a young kid coming into Reds preseason, and just trying to take him under my wing. And we had jokes about him and Georgie Smith. I think at the time Georgie Smith was still in our squad, and Georgie could have been his father. So we used to laugh about that. But as a young kid and seeing the man that he's become now, it's probably something I'm really proud of. And obviously he's had a few injuries along the way, but his resilience to continue in that path. And like you said, the last time we did play together in a Wallabies centre combination was the World Cup, and for us to have that again last week was kind of a full circle moment. But our relationship has definitely grown. Even though I've been away, I've stayed contact with him throughout those years, and being in Japan, and every time I do come back, we'll go for coffees and that. So just seeing the man that he's becoming, the player that he's becoming, demanding more from himself, working on his body. It's kind of a full circle moment. So the combination's working well. I'm demanding more from him, and I think he played really well in that Highlanders game. His first time as a young kid coming through. So we just want to see him at another level tomorrow night.
Samu, can I just ask about, obviously, the start of the year there was a fair bit more kicking. There was looking to play without the ball a little bit more, but it's become apparent that there's speed in the game now, high phase count, lots of holding onto the ball. Do you think that suits the Australian game, the way you want to play and the way you can play the best? It's coming, the way the game is kind of evolving heading into this World Cup actually suits Australia.
Yeah, I think as Aussies we want the ball. We're attacking side, and defense is as important. So we're working hard on our defense, but like you said, as an Australian side, we want the ball in our hand, and I think from the first, this is one of the game and play minutes that we've had in a while. So it's great preparation for us as a team, and there's long phase counts and ball in play, both going from back and forth. It's really good for a test to watch. I think everyone really enjoyed the game in MCG in terms of the crowd and that. So it's great preparation for the World Cup because like you said, we want ball in hand. But I think kicking is important as well. We've playing in the right parts of the field is important. So that's a lot on our game drivers and guys from myself and outside to recognise those spaces and play in the right parts of the field that we want to play.
Last one from me. I'm not sure that Marika spends much time on social media, but there's been a lot of the clips going around of Mark Talia burning him to score that try, from New Zealand accounts. Do you think he gets a sense of when something like that occurs, and does that fire him up more? Is that a bit of a scary prospect if you're marking Marika this week?
Oh, look, I don't think he spends that much time on social media. There's always going to be things like that on socials, and that's what the internet's for, sharing those things. And kudos to Mark Tilly. I thought he had a great game, and for Mark, he's just worried about his own job. I think he's more worried about the boys and getting around each other than looking on social media. So I don't think it'll play on his mind at all. I think he already forgot it the moment it happened. So you'll see the same Mark with the same intensity this week. He'll bring his A game, and we'll be there to support him and let him let the reins go.